With us now is Marty Raye. Marty, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing well. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Oh my goodness. I love your Southern hospitality because I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, and you're originally from Memphis.
Yeah, born in Memphis, raised in Arkansas. Believe it or not, you can't tell by looking at me, but that's the truth.
Yeah, Arkansas, right?
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
fun. uh, so growing up in St. Louis, Missouri, I used to travel down to the Boot down near
Boot
Kennett,
Hill.
Missouri. Yep, down to the Boot Hill, down near to Kennett, Missouri. Marty, and I think you're going to appreciate this story. So one time we're driving down and we're trying to get to somebody's grandparents' house, and we stop and we ask for directions. And there was an older gentleman, and he says, "Oh yeah," he goes, "you just go down to Old Pass and make a left." I was like, "Okay." So we're driving along, blah blah blah, and I'm looking for Old Pass. I'm looking for Old Pass. I'm looking for Old Pass. And then I'm like, I don't know, I think we're lost. So I stop and I ask for directions again. And they're like, oh, they're like, you missed it. The Old Pass was about, 2 miles back that way. The man was saying overpass. and, I, and,
Boy,
I,
boy.
and I was like, whoop, completely missed it. I laugh so much. So every time I see an overpass, I always think about that kind-hearted older gentleman that was trying to give me directions if I would have only listened. Right? If I only
You can only hear
listened.
Southern.
Right, I could only hear Southern.
Yeah.
And then there's the time that I realized I needed glasses. And as a storyteller and a songwriter, I think you're going to appreciate this too. So traveling down, once again, that same route, going down from the Mississippi River, you're traveling along, you're going down to the Boot Hill, and I look over, and in this green grass, I see all these pink dogs. And I'm like, I've never seen a pink dog before. Pink dogs? And my boyfriend at the time looks over at me and he goes, those are sheared sheep.
Sheared sheep. That's what we call pink dogs in the South. I got family in Kennett, Missouri. Actually.
You do? Really?
Yeah.
So you know where
a lot of family.
Yeah, so the square is there. And they had a J.C. Penney on Main Street and everything. And I loved it because I loved eating biscuits and gravy. There's certain things now that I live in Long Island now, and there's certain things that the South just does so well. And biscuits and gravy is totally one of them.
There's a lot of things the South does perfectly, and that's why I'll never want to leave it.
And barbecue. Barbecue.
Yes, ma'am. Memphis barbecue is best in the world.
It is absolutely delicious. And that's why I like to travel a lot. So we met randomly on the app Clubhouse. And
Right.
I was so impressed by you and just your genuineness. So talk our audience through a little bit about Marty Raye and who you are.
Wow, I'm long-winded, so I don't know how much time y'all have here. I'm just a guy. I tell people the quick summary is I came out of the womb singing, and I feel like God put me here to do it. So I'm just a guy that sings. God put here to do it, and hopefully some people like it. And I think some people do.
Oh, they do like it. They absolutely like it. You're really talented. You have some originals. You also have some cover songs that you do. Even your Message on Hold, you're singing. And it sounded so good. I was like, hello, is it me you're looking? I said, oh my gosh. And I started singing back to you. I was like,
Nice. I hope
So
I got
then-
that in the voicemail.
I'm sure that you did. So what happened for you where you realized that this gift was also going to take you someplace? It happened fairly recently, not too long ago, right? Within the past decade.
I'm still wondering if it's going to take me somewhere, Donna.
Well, it
To
certainly
this
has. Well, you started getting a lot of fans.
I do. God has really blessed me, and He's honored the effort. I always say that if you have a gift that He gave you, you should use it, and He'll honor the effort. And that's really the only tips that I have for people is put Him first and let Him honor the effort you put forth and see what happens. Because if He wants you to do it, it'll happen. That's the way I kind of live my life. So, and that's the way that my life is every day. Every time I wake up, everything that I do, podcast, music, songwriting, everything I put my hand into, it's that way. So,
And you started your own show. Talk to us about your own show and the people that you talk to on your show.
well, the podcast is, I was actually podcasting way before music, way before I ever did actually professionally did music. I had a tow truck company. It was my dad's, but I ran it. It was in West Memphis, and in 2007, I believe it was, I had a podcast back then. I knew that podcast was the wave of the future, but even though back then it got no respect, no love, everybody thought it was crazy, and radio stations knocked it horribly, and I was doing it back then. I didn't do it consistently from 2007 to now, because then I did that for about a year or two back then, and then music started picking up. So I just focused on the music because nobody else wanted to be as consistent as me with the podcast. So I stopped doing the podcast, and just recently, we're about 50 episodes in almost now. So we do a episode a week. So count back 50 weeks, and that's about how long we've been doing it, minus a few weeks during COVID, when COVID first hit.
One of the special things about your story is that you covered someone else's song, and you did it in such a way that it got a lot of attention.
Yeah, I've actually done that with a couple of songs, actually. You know, as a songwriter, you only do cover songs in hopes that people will go listen to your originals. So some people do, some people don't. But either way, you never really expect a cover song to just blow up the way that, I'm sure you're talking about Ice Ice Baby.
Yes.
The way that Ice Ice Baby did. I did an acoustic version of Ice Ice Baby. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning. At that point I had some fans, but I didn't have nowhere near as many as I do now. But I had already had a viral video. I did a parody video of All About That Bass, which was called All About That Beard. I don't know where that idea came from, but it just came to me one day. And so that went viral. That got like over 2 million views, and it's got more than that now. Collectively, it has more than that now. But when that went viral, started gaining a little fan base. So I was trying to be consistent with posting videos, and I hadn't been consistent. I hadn't posted at that time in about 2 weeks. And on my personal Facebook profile, it was just Marty Raye. It wasn't Marty Raye Project, which is where everything goes now. Anywhere online, it's Marty Raye Project. So, but at that time, it was on just my Marty Raye personal Facebook profile, and I posted about 3 o'clock in the morning an acoustic version of Ice Ice Baby, and I even captioned it. I said, "Here's the way I've been doing Ice Ice Baby. I hope y'all like it. I know it's been a while since I posted. If you don't like it, just wait till the next one." And a lot of people liked it. Bam Margera ended up sharing it. World Star Hip Hop shared it. There were several people that said they were best friends with Vanilla Ice. They were messaging me, and I gave every one of them my number because I just drove a tow truck. So I was like, they can get my number anyway. And turns out one of them wasn't lying. So then Vanilla Ice and I met. I ended up doing a show with him in Boca Raton, Florida, and we've been friends ever since.
It's so nice, and I got a chance to listen in that day recently that you were had him on as your guest on the Clubhouse. So that was fun, where you were like, and people kept wanting to ask questions and questions. You moderated that room very, very well, because that's not the easiest thing to do, because it's only audio, right? And so there's people chiming in. You did a great job with that. What song are you working on now? Like, what do you have that is near and dear to your heart that you're practicing in the shower, or however you like to practice, Marty?
Well, I mean, I'm always writing songs. Parodies. I'm always writing parodies. Some of them get made, some of them don't. And I'm always writing songs for my album. I've released 3 albums already throughout the years. I've released 2 full albums, 1 EP, and I have a new full album coming out this year. So mainly just working on that and trying to finish that. But, you know, there's times like just recently somebody showed me a song that Justin Bieber just released. Because I'm not really going to hear some of these popular songs unless my little brother or something shows them to me, because I don't really listen to the radio. But he showed me this song called Peaches, and it's something like Justin Bieber saying, I got my peaches down in Georgia, and then I changed it to my beard reaches to the floor, yeah. So, and so I've been fiddling around with that and messing with that lately, but. It's mainly about writing original music that's not parodies, but I enjoy doing parodies. They're fun.
They are fun. Speaking of that, does your beard reach the floor, or are you just teasing? You just pulling my leg?
No, it reaches for the floor.
Wow. Oh, for the floor. I got it.
Yeah, it don't reach the floor. For the floor.
Was it Crystal Gale, Loretta Lynn's sister? Was it Crystal Gale? Her hair. Remember her? Remember her hair was like Rapunzel. It was all the way down.
Crystal Gale.
Yeah, all the way down
I don't
to the
remember
ground.
if her hair went to the floor though, did it?
I don't know. I think it might have. At least it reached for the floor. So it sounds like you're having a lot of fun with your gift, and you're bringing a lot of people joy. Anything you want to just sing a little something for me a little bit now, and I'll listen?
I don't know. We did a song for the tornado that came through that's released. Actually, it's called The Storm.
Okay.
It was a tornado came through Nashville and tore up my buddy's house. It tore up his house and his cars and everything he owned. And when I went over there, we were helping him get the remaining things that were still salvageable out of his home and his yard and things like that. After I left there, taking them stuff to the storage, a song came to me. I can sing you a little bit of that. It's actually released now. It's called The Storm, Marty Raye Project. But it goes, I was just driving down the road, and I said, I was thinking about what he would have been thinking about in that moment, because he had his family in the closet, and he couldn't fit in the closet, so he was holding the door shut. And as I was leaving, I pulled up my phone and I said, I remember hearing all the noises, all the screams coming from the voice. Alarms went off and we all hear my heartbeat pounding out of my rear. Look up to the sky and I pray for grace. God, please protect my family from an early grave. Looking all around at the aftermath, holding on tight to the ones I had. That's how the chorus goes. So I just came up with that driving home, and then I called him and I said, hey man, this came to me, this idea, and it came from your situation. You want to write the music for it? And he wrote the music for it, and I wrote the melody and lyrics. So.
Well, I thank you for that also, because I happen to be the mom of a young lady. She's a grown woman now, Elise Drake, who lives in East Nashville. And I remember just holding my breath and waiting for that phone call to say, baby, are you all right? Is everything okay? Do you still have exactly what you're talking about? Still a roof over your head? It's gonna make me cry. Is there still a roof over your head? You know, you okay? You know, did you look around? Are your neighbors all right? And that's the nice thing about Nashville, and, you know, talking about being from the South and things like that, is that people just started coming out and cleaning up people's yards and making things better. So yeah, I think that's kind of, I don't think that's just Nashville. I think that's probably humans all over, especially this country for sure. Now,
I think that
absolutely.
happens in the north, the south, east,
You're right.
and west.
You're right.
There's people like that, but I think it's really happens a lot in the South for sure.
I think I think you're right. I think during this year, maybe people were hesitant because they didn't want to get in other people's business. But right now, everybody's in the same business. And I do see more people stepping up and maybe bringing over an apple pie to somebody in need, or, you know, going to that food drive, or just really trying to be more neighborly. I call it, when I grew up in borrow a cup of sugar neighborhood. You didn't never have to pay the sugar back, right? And you're right. I think things right now in our country are changing for the better, where people are stepping up and they're helping their neighbor. So, but it's been fun to visit with you, and looking forward to hearing more and more and more of your music.
Thank you so much, Donna, for having me. It's the podcast is the Marty Raye Project Chats. It's available everywhere. And then you can find all my other information at martyrayproject.com. And I'll be waiting on my apple pie.
All right. Oh, all right. I'll make some apple pie for you. Okay. God bless and happy journeys to you.
God bless you.
Okay. God bless you too. Bye-bye.